The smell of charcoal and lighter fluid fills my backyard as I flip another burger on the grill. My name is Max Harper, and I'm about to witness the moment my marriage officially ends, though I don't know it yet. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Max, honey, could you grab more beer from the garage? Lisa calls out, her voice carrying that fake sweetness she reserves for public performances. My wife of 8 years stands near our patio table, surrounded by her usual crew of enablers and gossips. She's wearing that red sundress I bought her for our anniversary last month, back when I still thought we had something worth celebrating. Sure thing, I reply, wiping sweat from my forehead with the back of my hand. It's a perfect May evening in our suburban neighborhood of Millbrook Heights, the kind of evening that should make a man feel grateful for what he's built. Instead, I feel like I'm walking through quicksand. Our backyard is packed with the usual suspects. There's Gus Martinez, my old friend from high school, nursing a Corona and eyeing the ribs with the dedication of a man who takes barbecue seriously. Rachel and Danica, Lisa's work friends from the insurance company, are gossiping near the flower beds I planted last spring. Mrs. Voss, Lisa's mother, holds court by the picnic table, dispensing judgment with the efficiency of a Supreme Court justice. But the guest who catches my attention is Derek Rudd. My former best friend and business partner stands too close to my wife, his hand resting on the small of her back in a way that makes my stomach clench. Derek's got that slick real estate developer look down pat, expensive polo shirt, perfectly styled hair, and a smile that could sell ice to Eskimos. He's also married to Sandra, who's notably absent from tonight's festivities. Max works so hard, Lisa is saying to the group, her voice dripping with mock sympathy. 16-hour days, coming home covered in electrical tape and wire nuts. It's like being married to a maintenance man. The laughter that follows feels like broken glass in my ears. I've been an electrical contractor for 15 years, built my business from nothing, and I'm damn good at what I do. But apparently, that's not impressive enough for my wife anymore. I head to the garage, my jaw clenched tight enough to crack teeth. The cool air inside provides momentary relief, but I can still hear the conversation floating through the open door. Poor Lisa. Rachel's voice carries clearly. She deserves so much better. Max is sweet, but he's just so ordinary, Danica adds. No ambition, you know. I grab a 12-pack of Bud Light from the mini fridge, my hands shaking with barely contained rage. Ordinary. That's what my wife's friends think of me. The man who paid for the house they're standing in, the cars in the driveway, the lifestyle they all envy. When I return to the patio, the conversation has shifted, but the damage is done. I can see it in their eyes, the pity, the condescension, the assumption that I'm too stupid to notice what's happening right in front of me. There he is, Derek announces with false enthusiasm. The man of the hour! I set the beer down harder than necessary, bottles clinking against each other. Just doing my job, I mutter. Oh, Max, Lisa laughs, that sharp sound that used to make me smile but now makes me want to run. You're so modest. Tell everyone about your big promotion. There is no promotion. There's just me, working my ass off to keep the bills paid while my wife spends money like it grows on trees. But I force a smile and play along because that's what I do. I keep the peace. Nothing exciting, I say, turning back to the grill. Just another contract. The conversation moves on, but I catch Derek's eyes lingering on Lisa in a way that makes my blood boil. They think I'm blind, but I see everything. The way they text each other during dinner. The way Lisa suddenly needs to work late 3 nights a week. The way Derek's marriage to Sandra seems to be falling apart at the exact same pace mine is. That's when I notice her. The new neighbor standing by our back fence, watching the gathering with curious eyes. She's probably late 20s, with short dark hair and the kind of confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are. She moved in next door about a month ago, but we haven't officially met. "Who's that?" I ask Gus, nodding toward the fence. "That's Mia Chen," he says. "Bought the Morrison place, some kind of real estate investor, I think. Seems nice enough." Mia catches me looking and waves. I wave back, grateful for a friendly face in this sea of sharks. "Max!" Lisa's voice cuts through my thoughts like a blade. "Come here, honey. We're talking about you." I reluctantly join the circle, standing behind Lisa's chair like a well-trained dog. Derek's got his arm around the back of her seat now, his fingers almost touching her shoulder. The bastard isn't even trying to hide it anymore. "We were just saying how lucky Lisa is," Mrs. Voss announces, her voice carrying the authority of someone who's never been contradicted. "Such a devoted husband." "Oh, Max is devoted, all right," Lisa says, tilting her head back to look at me. "Aren't you, honey? So predictable, so reliable, like a golden retriever." More laughter. I feel my face burning, but I keep my expression neutral. Years of marriage have taught me to swallow my pride, to take the hits and keep smiling. "You know what Max's problem is?" Derek chimes in, his voice carrying just enough false concern to fool the crowd. "He's too nice, too trusting. In business, that's a weakness." "It's not just business," Lisa adds, her eyes glittering with malice. "Max would do anything for anyone. He's so eager to please, it's almost pathetic." The circle falls silent for a moment, sensing they've crossed a line, but Lisa isn't done. She's had 3 glasses of wine and her filter is completely gone. "I mean, honestly," she continues, gesturing with her glass, "Max is so desperate for approval, you could probably buy his loyalty for pocket change. $100 and a burger, he's yours." The silence that follows is deafening. Even Mrs. Voss looks uncomfortable. Rachel and Danica exchange glances, suddenly fascinated by their drinks. Gus stares at the ground, his face red with embarrassment. But then a new voice cuts through the tension. "Deal!" Everyone turns to see Mia Chen standing at the gate, a stack of cash in her hand. She's walked over from her yard, drawn by the commotion, and apparently heard every word. "I said deal," Mia repeats, her voice calm and matter-of-fact. $100 and a burger. She counts out 10 crisp $100 bills and slaps them on the picnic table. "But I'm offering 1,000, and I'll throw in dinner at Morton's." Lisa's face goes white. The crowd stares in stunned silence. Derek's mouth hangs open like a fish. I look at the money, then at my wife, then at the woman who just offered to buy me like a prize at a county fair, and something inside me snaps. "You know what?" I say, my voice surprisingly steady. "That sounds like a hell of a deal." I walk over to Mia and extend my hand. "Max Harper, I believe you just purchased my services." Mia shakes my hand with a firm grip. "Mia Chen, pleasure doing business with you." "Max!" Lisa jumps to her feet, her chair scraping against the concrete. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I turn to face my wife, and for the first time in years, I'm not afraid of her anger. "You sold me, honey. She bought me. That's commerce." "This is ridiculous," Derek sputters. "You can't be serious." "Oh, I'm dead serious," I reply, pocketing the cash. Lisa made the offer. Mia accepted the terms. A deal's a deal. Mrs. Voss stands up, her face purple with indignation. "Maxwell Harper, you get back here this instant." But I'm already walking toward the gate with Mia. Behind us, I can hear Lisa screaming, Derek cursing, and the neighbors starting to murmur among themselves. Someone's phone is out, recording the whole thing for posterity. "Where are we going?" I ask Mia as we reach her property line. She grins, and it's the first genuine smile I've seen all evening. "Well, you're mine for the night, right? I was thinking we start with that dinner I promised. Then, maybe you can tell me why your wife thinks you're for sale." I glance back at my yard, where Lisa is having what appears to be a complete meltdown. Derek is trying to calm her down while Mrs. Voss waves her arms like she's directing traffic. The whole neighborhood is watching now, drawn by the commotion. "You know what?" I say to Mia. "I think I'd like that very much." As we walk toward her car, I hear Lisa shriek, "This isn't over, Max! You hear me? This isn't over!" I smile for the first time in months. She's right about one thing, this definitely isn't over. But I don't think she's going to like how it ends. The next morning arrives with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer to the skull. I wake up on Mia's couch, fully clothed, with the worst headache I've had since college. The events of the previous evening come flooding back in vivid, embarrassing detail. "Good morning, sunshine." Mia appears in the doorway, holding 2 cups of coffee. She's already dressed for the day in dark jeans and a white blouse, looking far more composed than I feel. "Please tell me last night was just a really weird dream," I groan, accepting the coffee gratefully. "Afraid not. Your wife put you up for sale. I bought you, and then we had a very nice dinner at Morton's where you told me your entire life story." She settles into the chair across from me. "Oh, and you might want to check your phone. It's been buzzing all morning." I fumble for my phone on the coffee table. 17 missed calls from Lisa, 43 text messages, and 12 voicemails. The preview of the first text makes my stomach drop. "Get home now or I'm calling the police." She's taking this well, I mutter. "There's more. Check Facebook." I open the app with trembling fingers. The first thing I see is a video posted by Rachel with the caption, "Drama at the Harper BBQ last night. You won't believe what happened." The video has been shared 47 times and has over 200 comments. "Jesus Christ," I whisper, watching myself shake hands with Mia while Lisa screams in the background. "This is everywhere." It gets better. Your mother-in-law posted her own version about an hour ago. Something about the moral decay of modern marriage and how I'm a home-wrecking harlot. I scroll down to find Mrs. Voss's post, which is exactly as dramatic as Mia described. The comments section is a battlefield of neighborhood gossip and moral outrage. "I'm screwed," I say, dropping my head into my hands. "My business, my reputation, everything. Maybe. Or maybe this is exactly what you needed." Mia leans forward, her expression serious. "Max, can I ask you something? How long has your wife been cheating on you?" The question hits me like a physical blow. "What makes you think—" "The way she and Derek were all over each other last night. The way she talked about you like you weren't even there. The fact that she felt comfortable humiliating you in front of a dozen people." Mia's voice is gentle but firm. "This wasn't about selling you for $100. This was about making you look pathetic so she could justify whatever she's been doing behind your back." I stare into my coffee, unable to meet her eyes. 6 months, I finally admit. Maybe longer. I found some texts on her phone, but she said they were just friends. I wanted to believe her. "Derek's married too, isn't he?" "Yeah. Sandra's a good woman. She doesn't deserve this." "Neither do you." Mia stands up and walks to the window. "Look, I know we just met, but I've been watching this neighborhood for a while now. I know more about what's going on than you might think." "What do you mean?" Before she can answer, my phone rings. It's Gus. "Max, thank God." His voice crackles through the speaker. "Where the hell are you? Lisa's been calling everyone looking for you. She's completely lost her mind." "I'm fine, Gus. I'm at Mia's place." "The neighbor?" "Dude, what were you thinking? Lisa's talking about having you arrested for abandonment or some crazy shit. She can't have me arrested for leaving my own party." "Maybe not, but she's making a lot of noise about it. Derek's been here since 7 this morning trying to calm her down. They're saying you had some kind of breakdown." I feel my anger flaring again. "A breakdown? I had a breakdown?" "Look, man, I don't know what's going on between you two, but maybe you should come home. Work this out like adults." "Yeah, maybe I should." I catch Mia watching me with raised eyebrows. "Thanks, Gus. I'll be there soon." I hang up and start looking for my shoes. I need to go deal with this. Max, wait. Mia's voice stops me cold. Before you go home and apologize for embarrassing your cheating wife, there's something you should know. She disappears into another room and returns with a manila folder. I told you I'm a real estate investor. What I didn't mention is that I specialize in distressed properties and complicated ownership situations. She hands me the folder. Inside are property records, tax documents, and what appears to be a deed. Your house, she explains. The one you've been living in for 8 years. It's not in both your names, is it? I scan the documents, my heart racing. No, it was my grandfather's house. He left it to me when he died, right before Lisa and I got married. We never bothered to add her name to the deed. Smart man, your grandfather. According to these records, Lisa has no legal claim to the property. Same with your business. It's a sole proprietorship registered only in your name. How did you get all this? Public records. Anyone can access them if they know where to look. She sits down next to me. Max, your wife doesn't own anything. The house, the business, even the cars are all in your name. If she wants to play hardball, you've got more ammunition than she does. I stare at the documents, my mind racing. But we're married. Doesn't she get half of everything automatically? Not in a fault divorce. Alt. Not when there's evidence of adultery. Mia pulls out her phone and shows me a photo. Especially not when there's photographic evidence. The image on her screen makes my blood run cold. It's Derek and Lisa in Derek's car, parked behind the Walmart on Elm Street. They're kissing, and Lisa's hand is clearly visible on Derek's chest. The timestamp shows it was taken 3 days ago. You've been following them? I've been documenting them. There's a difference. Mia scrolls through more photos. Max, I need to tell you something. I'm not just a real estate investor, I'm also a licensed private investigator. Sandra Rudd hired me 2 months ago to investigate her husband. The room spins around me. Sandra knows? She suspected. Now she has proof. The question is, what are you going to do with this information? I look at the photos, the property records, the evidence of my wife's betrayal laid out like a legal brief. For 8 years, I've been the accommodating husband, the one who keeps the peace, who swallows his pride to avoid conflict. But looking at these documents, I feel something I haven't felt in years. Power. I'm going to go home, I say finally, and I'm going to have a conversation with my wife. Are you sure you're ready for that? I stand up and straighten my shoulders. Mia, last night you bought me for $1,000. I think it's time I found out what I'm actually worth. The drive home takes exactly 7 minutes, but it feels like a lifetime. I can see Lisa pacing in the front yard before I even turn into the driveway. She's still in her pajamas, her hair a mess, looking like she hasn't slept. Derek's Range Rover is parked on the street, and I can see him through the living room window. I park in the garage and take a deep breath. The manila folder sits on the passenger seat like a loaded gun. Time to find out if I have the courage to use it. Lisa meets me at the door, her face a mask of fury and tears. Where the hell have you been? I've been worried sick. Have you? I push past her into the house. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you had plenty of company. Derek emerges from the living room, trying to look concerned. Max, buddy, we need to talk. Lisa's been beside herself. I'll bet she has. I set the folder on the kitchen counter and turn to face them both. So, what's the story? Am I having a breakdown? A midlife crisis? Or am I just finally seeing things clearly for the first time in years? Max, honey, you're scaring me, Lisa says, reaching for my arm. Last night was just a joke. I didn't mean anything by it. I pull away from her touch. A joke? You sold me to a stranger for $100 in front of our entire neighborhood, and it was a joke? You know how I get when I've been drinking. Yeah, I do. You get honest. I open the folder and spread the photographs across the counter. Speaking of honest, want to explain these? The silence that follows is deafening. Lisa's face goes white as she stares at the images. Derek takes a step backward, his confident facade cracking. "Max, I can explain," Lisa starts. "Can you? Because from where I'm sitting it looks pretty self-explanatory." I pick up one of the photos, the one where Derek's hand is clearly visible inside Lisa's blouse. "This was taken Tuesday afternoon. You told me you were at a work conference." Derek finds his voice. "Look, man, this isn't what it looks like." "Really? Because it looks like you're screwing my wife in the parking lot behind Walmart. Which, by the way, is probably the classiest thing either of you has done in months." Lisa starts crying, but they're angry tears, not remorseful ones. "You had me followed? What kind of sick bastard hires a private investigator to spy on his own wife? The kind who's tired of being made a fool of." I gather up the photos and put them back in the folder. "The kind who's done pretending he doesn't know what's going on." "So what now?" Derek demands. "You're going to blackmail us? Threaten to show these to Sandra?" I smile, and it must be a cold one because Derek actually flinches. "Derek, Sandra already has copies. She's the one who hired the investigator." The color drains from Derek's face. "You're lying." "Am I? Why don't you call her and find out?" Derek fumbles for his phone with shaking hands. Lisa collapses into a kitchen chair, her head in her hands. "There's more," I continue, pulling out the property records. "Lisa, honey, remember when we got married and you said we should put the house in both our names? Remember how I kept putting it off?" She looks up, her eyes red and swollen. "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about the fact that you don't own this house. You don't own my business. You don't own anything." I spread the documents on the counter next to the photos. "This house belongs to me. It's been in my family for 3 generations. You're just a tenant who's overstayed her welcome." Lisa jumps to her feet. "You can't throw me out. I'm your wife." "Are you? Because wives don't usually sell their husbands to strangers. They don't usually screw their husband's best friends in parking lots either." Derek's phone call to Sandra must not have gone well, because he's now slumped against the wall, looking like he's about to vomit. "What do you want?" Lisa asks, her voice barely a whisper. "I want you out. Both of you. Today." "Max, please. You have until 6 o'clock to pack your things and leave. After that, I'm calling the police and having you arrested for trespassing." "You can't do this." "Actually, I can. This is my house, and I want you out of it." Derek pushes himself off the wall. "This is insane, Max. You're destroying everything over a few pictures." "A few pictures?" I laugh, but there's no humor in it. "Derek, you've been planning to steal my business for months. You think I don't know about the meetings with my clients? The promises you've made to undercut my contracts?" His face goes pale. "How did you—" "I know everything. The affair, the business sabotage, all of it. The only thing I don't know is why you thought I was too stupid to figure it out." The front door opens, and Mrs. Voss walks in without knocking. She takes one look at the photographs scattered on the counter and stops dead in her tracks. "Oh my God," she whispers. "Lisa, what have you done?" Lisa starts crying harder. "Mom, I can explain." "Can you? Can you explain why you're cheating on your husband? Can you explain why you humiliated him in front of the entire neighborhood?" Mrs. Voss picks up one of the photographs, her hands shaking. "This is what you left your marriage for? This is what you threw away 8 years for?" "It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple." Mrs. Voss throws the photo down in disgust. "I raised you better than this, Lisa Marie. I raised you to honor your commitments, not to sneak around like some common tramp." Derek edges toward the door. "I should go." "Yes, you should," I agree. "And Derek, if I see you anywhere near my property again, I'll have you arrested." He doesn't argue, just grabs his keys and flees like the coward he is. Mrs. Voss turns to me, her expression a mixture of shame and determination. "Max, I owe you an apology. I should have seen what was happening. I should have stopped this." "It's not your fault, Mrs. Voss." "Isn't it?" I encouraged her to think she deserved better. I told her you weren't ambitious enough, weren't successful enough. She looks at her daughter with disgust. I never told her to destroy her marriage over it. Lisa looks up at her mother, tears streaming down her face. Mom, please, don't. Just don't. Mrs. Voss heads for the door. You made your choice, Lisa. Now you get to live with it. After she leaves, the house falls silent except for Lisa's quiet sobbing. I look at my wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife, and feel nothing but exhaustion. Why? I ask. Why wasn't I enough? She looks up at me, and for a moment I see a flash of the woman I married. I don't know, she whispers. I honestly don't know. It's the first honest thing she's said to me in months. 6 o'clock, Lisa. Don't make this harder than it has to be. I leave her sitting at the kitchen table and walk outside. The neighborhood is quiet, but I can see curtains twitching in windows up and down the street. By tomorrow, everyone will know the whole story. My phone buzzes with a text from Mia. How did it go? I type back, better than expected. Want to grab lunch? Her response comes immediately. Your treat. You can afford it now. Despite everything, I find myself smiling. She's right. For the first time in years, I can afford whatever I want, because I finally know what I'm worth. And it's a hell of a lot more than $100 in a burger. 3 weeks later, I'm standing in the checkout line at Home Depot when I see Derek's face staring back at me from the local newspaper. The headline reads, Local developer faces fraud charges in real estate scheme. I buy the paper along with my electrical supplies and read the article in my truck. According to the report, Derek's been running a sophisticated scam involving inflated property values and kickbacks from contractors. The investigation started when Sandra Rudd provided evidence to the district attorney's office. My name isn't mentioned, but I know Mia's photographs played a role in Sandra's decision to cooperate with authorities. My phone rings as I'm finishing the article. It's Gus. Max, have you seen the news about Derek? Just reading it now. Sounds like he's in deep trouble. 23 counts of fraud, conspiracy, and tax evasion. They're saying he could get 15 years. Gus pauses. There's something else. Lisa called me this morning. I set the paper down. What did she want? She's broke, man. Apparently Derek was supporting her, and now that he's been arrested, she's got nothing. She's been staying at that extended stay motel on Route 9. That's not my problem anymore. I know, but she sounded desperate. She asked if I thought you might take her back. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. Take her back? After everything she's done? Look, I'm not saying you should. I'm just telling you what she said. She claims she made a mistake, that Derek manipulated her, all that crap. Derek didn't manipulate her into selling me for $100 in front of our neighbors. That was all Lisa. Fair point. So, what are you going to do? Nothing. Lisa made her choices. Now she gets to live with them. After I hang up, I drive to Mia's house. She's become my closest friend over the past 3 weeks, helping me navigate the divorce proceedings and the aftermath of Derek's arrest. What I didn't expect was how much I'd come to rely on her perspective on everything. I find her in her backyard, working in a garden that didn't exist when she moved in. She's transformed the space into something that looks like it belongs in a magazine, complete with raised beds and a stone pathway. Nice work, I say, admiring the neat rows of vegetables. Thanks. I like having something to nurture. She wipes dirt from her hands with a towel. You look troubled. What's wrong? I tell her about the newspaper article and Gus's phone call. She listens without interrupting, her expression growing more serious with each detail. She wants you back, Mia says when I finish. Apparently, not that it matters, I'm done with Lisa. Are you? Because you look like a man who's having second thoughts. I stare at her in surprise. What makes you say that? The way you're standing, the tone of your voice when you talk about her being broke and desperate. Part of you still feels responsible for her. She's right, and it annoys me. Maybe I do. We were married for 8 years. That has to count for something. Does it? Max, your wife didn't just cheat on you. She humiliated you publicly, tried to destroy your business, and showed absolutely no remorse until she got caught. Now that her boyfriend is facing prison time and she's out of money, suddenly she wants to reconcile. When you put it like that, that's exactly how it is. Lisa doesn't want you back because she loves you or because she's sorry. She wants you back because you're her only remaining option. I know she's right, but hearing it stated so bluntly still stings. So, what do you think I should do? I think you should be very careful. Desperate people do desperate things, and your ex-wife strikes me as someone who's used to getting what she wants. As if summoned by our conversation, my phone buzzes with a text from Lisa. Max, please call me. We need to talk. It's important. I show the message to Mia, who frowns. Don't, she says immediately. Don't what? Don't call her back. Don't engage with her at all. Let your lawyer handle everything from now on. Maybe I should hear what she has to say. Max. Mia's voice is sharp enough to cut glass. What did I just finish telling you about desperate people? Before I can respond, my phone rings. It's Lisa. Don't answer it, Mia warns. But I'm already swiping to accept the call. Hello, Lisa. Max, thank God. I've been trying to reach you for days. Her voice is different, smaller, more fragile than I remember. Can we meet somewhere? I really need to talk to you. We don't have anything to talk about. My lawyer is handling the divorce. Please, Max, just 5 minutes. There are things you don't understand about Derek, about what really happened. Mia is shaking her head vigorously, making cutting motions across her throat. What things? I ask, despite myself. Not over the phone. Can you meet me at Murphy's Diner? The one on Elm Street where we used to go? Murphy's Diner, where we had our first date 9 years ago. She's playing the nostalgia card and I hate that it's working. Fine, 1 hour. But this doesn't change anything, Lisa. Thank you, Max. You won't regret this. I hang up and immediately regret my decision. Mia is staring at me with a mixture of disappointment and concern. You're making a mistake, she says. Probably, but I need to hear what she has to say. I need closure. Closure is what you get when you sign the divorce papers. This is something else entirely. Maybe, but I'm going anyway. Mia sighs and picks up her car keys. Then I'm coming with you. That's not necessary. Max, 3 weeks ago, your wife sold you to a stranger for $100. Yesterday, her boyfriend got arrested for fraud. Today, she wants to meet you at the place where you had your first date. Mia's voice is patient, but firm. If you think that's a coincidence, then you're not as smart as I thought you were. Murphy's Diner looks exactly the same as it did 9 years ago. Red vinyl booths, checkered floor, and the smell of coffee that's been brewing since the Carter administration. Lisa is already there when we arrive, sitting in a corner booth with her back to the wall. She looks terrible, thin, pale, with dark circles under her eyes that makeup can't quite hide. She starts to smile when she sees me, but the expression dies when Mia walks in behind me. What is she doing here? Lisa demands. Mia's my friend. She stays. I slide into the booth across from Lisa while Mia takes the seat next to me. This is a private conversation between husband and wife. Soon to be ex-husband and ex-wife, I correct. And nothing we say is private anymore. You gave up that right when you started screwing Derek. Lisa flinches as if I'd slapped her. Max, please. You don't understand what really happened. Then explain it. She glances nervously at Mia, then back at me. Derek told me you were planning to leave me. He said you'd been talking to lawyers, that you were going to divorce me and leave me with nothing. That's a lie. I know that now, but at the time, I believed him. He said the only way to protect myself was to document your instability. My instability? The drinking, the mood swings, the way you'd fly into rages over nothing. I don't drink excessively. I don't have mood swings. and I've never once raised my voice to you in 8 years of marriage." That's not how Derek said it would look in court. He said any judge would see the pattern of abuse. Abuse? I'm on my feet before I realize I'm moving. "You're accusing me of abuse?" "Sit down, Max," Mia says quietly. This is exactly what she wants. I force myself back into the booth, my hands shaking with rage. "Continue." Lisa's eyes are bright with unshed tears. "Derek said if I could prove you were unstable, I'd get everything in the divorce. The house, the business, alimony. He said he'd help me start over. So you decided to humiliate me in front of our neighbors?" "The barbecue was Derek's idea. He said if I could get you to lose your temper in public, we'd have witnesses to your violent behavior. Except I didn't lose my temper. I left with Mia, which wasn't part of the plan." Lisa glances at Mia with obvious hatred. "Derek was furious. He said you'd made us both look like fools." "Good. Max, don't you see? Derek used both of us. He convinced me you were planning to leave me, and he convinced you that I was this terrible person who didn't love you." Mia leans forward. "Are you seriously trying to claim that Derek forced you to cheat on your husband? It wasn't supposed to go that far. Derek said we just needed to be seen together, to establish that I had options. But then, one thing led to another. One thing led to another, I repeat. That's your excuse for destroying our marriage?" "I made mistakes, Max. Terrible mistakes. But I was scared and confused, and Derek took advantage of that." "Derek didn't take those photos by himself, Lisa. Derek didn't make you mock me in front of our friends. Derek didn't make you treat me like I was worthless. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The tears are flowing freely now. "But Max, I love you. I've always loved you. Can't we try to work this out?" I stare at my wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife, and try to find some trace of the woman I married. But all I see is desperation and manipulation. "No," I say finally. "We can't. Max, please." "Lisa, even if I believed that Derek manipulated you, which I don't, it doesn't change what you did. It doesn't change how you treated me. I can change. I can be better." "Maybe you can, but not with me." Lisa's face crumples. "So that's it? 8 years of marriage, and you're just throwing it all away?" "I'm not throwing anything away. You already did that." She looks at Mia with pure venom. "This is your fault. You turned him against me." "Actually," Mia replies calmly, "you did that all by yourself." Lisa stands up abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. "Fine, but don't come crying to me when you realize what you've lost." "I already know what I've lost," I say. "The question is whether it was worth losing." She storms out of the diner, leaving Mia and me alone in the booth. The other customers are staring, but I don't care anymore. My reputation is already shot to hell. "How do you feel?" Mia asks. "Relieved, mostly, and a little sad. The sad part will pass." "Will it?" "Max, you just watched your ex-wife try to manipulate you into taking her back by claiming she was the real victim in your marriage. She showed no genuine remorse, took no real responsibility, and blamed everyone but herself for the choices she made." Mia finishes her coffee. "If you're not relieved to be done with that, then you're a better man than most. Or a stupider one. No, definitely not stupider." We're walking to our cars when my phone rings. It's Gus again. "Max, you need to get home, now." "Why? What's wrong?" "Lisa's at your house. She's got a locksmith with her and she's trying to break in." I look at Mia, who's already heading for her car. "We're on our way," I tell Gus. "Whatever you do, don't let her inside." "I'm trying, man, but she's claiming she has a right to be there. She's making a hell of a scene." 5 minutes, Gus. Just keep her outside for 5 minutes." I've never driven home so fast in my life. When we turn onto my street, I can see the crowd gathered in my front yard. Lisa is screaming at a confused-looking locksmith while Gus tries to calm her down. Several neighbors are recording the whole thing on their phones. I park in the driveway and get out of the truck. What the hell is going on here? Lisa whirls around, her face red with anger and exertion. I'm getting my things. You can't keep me out of my own house. It's not your house, Lisa. We've been through this. I have rights. I'm still your wife. Not for much longer. I turn to the locksmith, who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Sir, I'm the homeowner. I didn't authorize this work. She said she was locked out. She doesn't live here anymore. She has no legal right to enter this property. The locksmith looks between Lisa and me, clearly out of his depth. Look, I don't want to get involved in a domestic dispute. It's not a domestic dispute, I say firmly. It's a trespassing issue. This woman does not live here, and she does not have permission to enter my home. Lisa's voice rises to a shriek. You can't do this to me, Max. I have nowhere else to go. That's not my problem anymore. Please, I'm begging you. Just let me stay until I can figure something out. The desperation in her voice is real, and despite everything, I feel a stab of pity. But then I remember the barbecue, the photos, the meeting at the diner, and the pity hardens into resolve. No, Lisa, find somewhere else. She stares at me for a long moment, and I can see the exact instant when desperation turns to rage. Fine, she screams. But this isn't over, Max. You think you've won, but you haven't. I'll make you pay for this. She storms off toward a beat-up Honda Civic parked on the street. Apparently Derek's Range Rover is no longer available to her. The locksmith packs up his tools and leaves without another word. The neighbors begin to disperse, but I can hear them whispering among themselves. Gus walks over, shaking his head. Man, she's really lost it. Yeah, she has. You sure you're doing the right thing? I mean, she seemed genuinely desperate. I look at my friend, this man who's known me for 20 years, and realize that even he doesn't fully understand what Lisa put me through. Gus, let me ask you something. If your wife sold you to a stranger for $100, cheated on you with your best friend and tried to destroy your business, would you take her back just because she was desperate? He considers this for a moment. When you put it like that, no, I guess I wouldn't. Then you understand why I can't help her. After Gus leaves, Mia and I sit on my front porch, watching the sun set over the neighborhood. The street is quiet now, but I can still feel eyes watching from behind curtains. She's not going to give up, Mia says. I know. She's going to try to make your life hell. Probably. Are you prepared for that? I think about the question for a long moment. 3 weeks ago, I was a man who avoided conflict at all costs, who swallowed his pride to keep the peace. But that man is gone, replaced by someone I'm still getting to know. Yeah, I say finally. I think I am. Mia smiles. Good. Because I have a feeling things are about to get interesting. She's right, of course. But what neither of us realizes is just how interesting things are about to become. The first sign of trouble comes on a Tuesday morning, when I arrive at my office to find 2 police officers waiting for me. Detective Martinez, a stocky woman in her 40s, and Officer Johnson, a young guy who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Mr. Harper, we need to ask you some questions about your wife. Ex-wife, I correct automatically. What's this about? Lisa Harper filed a complaint yesterday alleging domestic violence and financial abuse. She claims you've threatened her and cut off her access to marital assets. I feel my stomach drop. That's completely false. We'd like to hear your side of the story. Can we talk inside? My office is a small space above Murphy's Hardware, nothing fancy but functional. I offer the officers coffee, which they decline, and we settle around my desk. Mrs. Harper claims you've been physically and emotionally abusive throughout your marriage, Detective Martinez begins, consulting her notes. She says the abuse escalated recently, culminating in you throwing her out of the house and threatening her with violence if she returns. None of that is true. I've never laid a hand on Lisa, and I've never threatened her. She also claims you've hidden marital assets and are trying to leave her destitute. The house and business are in my name only. They were never marital assets. Officer Johnson speaks for the first time. Sir, can you account for your whereabouts yesterday evening between 6 and 9 p.m.? Yesterday evening? I was at home working on some electrical plans. Why? The officers exchange glances. Mrs. Harper's motel room was broken into last night. Someone trashed the place and left a threatening note. My blood runs cold. Are you seriously suggesting I broke into Lisa's motel room? We're investigating all possibilities, Detective Martinez says diplomatically. Do you have anyone who can verify your whereabouts? Actually, yes. Mia Chen was there helping me review some documents. She can confirm I never left the house. We'll need to speak with her. After the police leave, I call my lawyer, Janet DeWitt. She's a sharp woman in her 50s who specializes in divorce cases, and she's not happy about Lisa's latest move. This is a classic manipulation tactic, she explains over the phone. Make false accusations to gain leverage in the divorce proceedings. The good news is that without evidence, these claims won't hold up in court. What about the break-in? They think I might have done it. Did you? Of course not. Then don't worry about it. Focus on documenting everything Lisa does from now on. If she's willing to file false police reports, there's no telling what she'll try next. Janet's prediction proves accurate sooner than expected. That afternoon, I get a call from my biggest client, Henderson Construction. Max, we need to talk, says Bob Henderson, the company owner. There are some rumors going around that I need to discuss with you. We meet at Henderson's office, a sprawling complex on the industrial side of town. Bob's been a client for 5 years, and his company represents about 40% of my annual revenue. Max, I'm going to be straight with you, Bob says, not bothering with small talk. I got a call this morning from someone claiming to be your wife. She said you've been skimming money from client accounts and that you're under investigation for fraud. That's completely false, Bob. Lisa's my ex-wife, and she's trying to destroy my business out of spite. I figured it was bullshit, but I had to ask. The thing is, she also said you've been having mental health issues, drinking problems, erratic behavior, that sort of thing. None of that is true either. Bob studies me for a long moment. Max, you've been doing good work for us for years, but I can't have this kind of drama affecting my projects. If this situation with your ex-wife doesn't get resolved quickly, I'm going to have to find another contractor. The threat hits me like a physical blow. Losing Henderson's business would cripple my company. How quickly? End of the month. Get this sorted out, or we're done. I drive home in a daze, my mind racing through the implications. If Lisa can convince Henderson to drop me, she can probably do the same with my other clients. She's not just trying to get me back, she's trying to destroy me. Mia's car is in my driveway when I arrive home. I find her in the kitchen, going through a stack of legal documents. How did it go with the police? She asks. I tell her about the interview, the break-in allegations, and Bob Henderson's ultimatum. She listens without interrupting, her expression growing darker with each detail. She's escalating, Mia says when I finish. False police reports, trying to sabotage your business. This is getting serious. What do you think I should do? Fight back, hard. She spreads the documents across the kitchen table. I've been busy while you were gone. Remember how I told you I'm a private investigator? Well, I've been investigating. The first document is a bank statement showing a joint account I didn't know existed. The account is in both Lisa's and Derek's names, and it contains over $50,000. Where did this money come from? I ask. That's the interesting part. Look at the deposit dates. I scan the statement, and my blood runs cold. The deposits correspond exactly with payments from my business clients, money that should have gone into my company account. She's been stealing from me. Not just stealing. Look at this. Mia shows me another document, a loan application in Lisa's name. She tried to take out a second mortgage on your house using forged documents. The application was rejected when the bank discovered she's not on the deed, but the attempt was recorded. How did you get all this? Sandra Rudd has been very helpful. Apparently Derek bragged to her about the scheme before everything fell apart. She's been gathering evidence for months. The next document makes my hands shake. It's a copy of a contract between Derek's company and Henderson Construction, dated just 2 weeks ago. Derek was planning to steal my biggest client, I whisper. Not was, is. The contract is still active, even with Derek under arrest. His business partner, Tom Brennan, is honoring all existing agreements. I stare at the papers, pieces of a puzzle finally clicking into place. This was all planned. The affair, the public humiliation, everything. They wanted me to look unstable so Lisa could claim the business in the divorce. And when that didn't work, they moved to Plan B. Destroy your reputation and steal your clients directly. My phone rings. It's Janet DeWitt. Max, we have a problem. Lisa's filed for an emergency restraining order. She's claiming you're stalking her and that she fears for her safety. Based on what evidence? The alleged break-in at her motel, plus she claims you've been driving by her workplace and following her around town. I don't even know where she works. I believe you, but we need to take this seriously. There's a hearing scheduled for tomorrow morning. If the judge grants the restraining order, you won't be able to go within 500 feet of Lisa or any place she works or lives, which would include my own house if she decides to show up there. Exactly. Max, I need you to be completely honest with me. Have you had any contact with Lisa since the incident at your house? Just the meeting at Murphy's Diner, and Mia was with me the whole time. Good. Bring Mia to the hearing tomorrow. Her testimony could be crucial. After I hang up, Mia and I sit in silence for several minutes, absorbing the magnitude of Lisa's campaign against me. She's not going to stop, I say finally. No, she's not. The question is, are you going to let her win? I look at the evidence spread across my table, the bank statements, the forged documents, the stolen contracts. For 8 years, I've been the accommodating husband, the one who avoided conflict and kept the peace, but that man is gone. No, I say, my voice steady and cold. I'm not. Good, because I have an idea. The courthouse hearing the next morning is a disaster for Lisa. Janet DeWitt systematically destroys every claim in the restraining order petition, using the evidence Mia gathered to demonstrate Lisa's pattern of deception and fraud. Your Honor, Janet addresses the judge. Mrs. Harper claims to fear for her safety, yet she's the one who's been engaging in criminal behavior. She's stolen money from her husband's business, attempted to forge documents, and filed false police reports. This restraining order petition is simply another attempt to manipulate the legal system. Lisa's lawyer, a tired-looking man who clearly took the case for quick money, offers a weak defense based entirely on Lisa's tearful testimony. But when Janet presents the bank statements and forged loan documents, his case falls apart. Mrs. Harper, the judge says sternly, are you aware that filing false police reports is a felony? Lisa's face goes white. I don't understand. You claimed Mr. Harper broke into your motel room and left threatening notes. However, the motel's security footage shows no one matching Mr. Harper's description in the area that night. Furthermore, Mr. Harper has a verified alibi for the entire evening. But someone broke in. Yes, someone did. And that someone appears to have been you, Mrs. Harper. The footage shows you entering and leaving your own room multiple times, carrying bags and boxes. You staged the break-in yourself. The courtroom falls silent. Lisa's lawyer looks like he wants to disappear into the floor. The petition for a restraining order is denied, the judge continues. Furthermore, I'm referring this matter to the district attorney's office for investigation of potential perjury and filing false reports. As we leave the courthouse, Lisa tries to approach me in the parking lot. Max, please, we need to talk. No, I say firmly. We don't. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You've stolen from me, lied about me, and tried to destroy my business. We have nothing to talk about." I was desperate. Derek said, "Derek's in jail, Lisa. Whatever he promised you isn't going to happen." She starts crying, but they're angry tears, not remorseful ones. "You think you've won, but you haven't. I'll find a way to make you pay for this." "No, you won't. Because you're done, Lisa. Your lies don't work anymore. Your schemes have been exposed, and everyone can see exactly what you are." I walk away, leaving her standing in the parking lot. For the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe again. But my relief is short-lived. That afternoon, I get a call from another client, Riverside Manufacturing. They're canceling their contract, citing concerns about my company's stability. 2 more clients call before the end of the day with similar messages. "She's still making calls," I tell Mia that evening. "Even after what happened in court, she's still trying to destroy my business. Then it's time to stop playing defense and start playing offense." "What do you mean?" Mia smiles, and there's something predatory in the expression. "I mean, it's time to show Lisa and everyone else exactly what happens when you mess with Max Harper." She opens her laptop and shows me a website she's been building. It's called The Truth About Lisa Harper, and it contains every piece of evidence we've gathered: the photos of her affair, the bank statements showing her theft, the court documents from today's hearing. "You can't publish this," I say, though part of me wants to see Lisa's reaction. "I'm not going to." "You are." "Mia." "Max, she's been destroying your reputation with lies and manipulation. This is just the truth. Let people make their own decisions based on facts instead of Lisa's sob stories." I stare at the website, my finger hovering over the publish button. It would feel good to expose Lisa's lies, to show everyone what she's really done. But something holds me back. "There has to be a better way," I say finally. "Maybe there is. But are you willing to do what it takes?" I look at Mia, this woman who's become my closest ally in the fight against my ex-wife's campaign of destruction. 3 months ago, I was a man who avoided conflict at all costs. Now I'm being asked to wage war against someone I once loved. "Yeah," I say, closing the laptop. "I think I am." Because sometimes the only way to stop a bully is to hit back twice as hard. And Lisa Harper is about to learn that lesson the hard way. The opportunity for revenge comes sooner than I expected, and it's more perfect than anything I could have planned. It starts with a phone call from Sandra Rudd on a Friday morning. Derek's wife sounds exhausted but determined. "Max, I need your help with something. There's going to be a neighborhood association meeting next Tuesday about the Henderson construction project on Maple Street. Lisa's been telling people you're unreliable and that Derek's company should get the contract instead. Derek's in jail awaiting trial. His business partner Tom Brennan is running things now, and he's been spreading the same lies Lisa's been telling. They're trying to steal your contract right in front of the whole neighborhood." I feel my anger rising. "What do you need me to do?" "Be there. Defend yourself. And Max, bring evidence." The Millbrook Heights Community Center hasn't seen this much excitement since the great mailbox vandalism scandal of 2019. By 7 p.m. on Tuesday, the main hall is packed with neighbors, city council members, and representatives from Henderson Construction. I spot Lisa immediately. She's sitting in the front row with Tom Brennan, Derek's business partner, whispering intently. Mia and I take seats near the back, our own folder of evidence ready. I've decided against publishing the website, but I'm not above using the truth when necessary. The meeting starts with the usual administrative business, but everyone's waiting for the main event. Finally, Councilman Roberts calls for discussion of the Henderson Construction electrical contract. Tom Brennan stands up first. He's a smooth talker in his 50s, with the kind of artificial sincerity that screams used car salesman. "Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the opportunity to address your concerns about this important project. As you know, my company has been serving this community for over 15 years, and we pride ourselves on reliability and integrity." He pauses dramatically, letting his words sink in. Unfortunately, we've recently become aware of serious concerns about the current electrical contractor, Max Harper. Mr. Harper has been experiencing significant personal and professional difficulties that call into question his ability to complete this project safely and on time. A murmur runs through the crowd. I see several neighbors glancing back at me with expressions ranging from curiosity to concern. Furthermore, Brennan continues, we have reason to believe that Mr. Harper may be facing legal and financial issues that could impact his work. In the interest of community safety, we strongly recommend that Henderson Construction reconsider their choice of electrical contractor. Lisa stands up next, and my stomach clenches. She's dressed conservatively, her hair pulled back, playing the role of concerned citizen to perfection. I want to start by saying how difficult this is for me, she begins, her voice trembling with manufactured emotion. Max Harper is my husband, and I love him dearly, but I can't stand by and watch him put this community at risk. The crowd is completely silent now, hanging on every word. Max has been struggling with alcohol abuse and mental health issues for months. He's become increasingly erratic and violent, to the point where I've had to seek legal protection. Just last week, he was questioned by police in connection with a break-in at my motel room. Gasps echo through the hall. I see Mrs. Peterson from down the street shaking her head in sympathy. I've tried to get Max the help he needs, Lisa continues, tears now flowing freely. But he refuses to acknowledge his problems. I'm terrified that his condition will lead to a serious accident or injury on the construction site. She sits down to scattered applause, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. Tom Brennan nods approvingly and prepares to speak again. That's when I stand up. Point of order, I call out, my voice carrying clearly through the hall. Councilman Roberts looks surprised. Mr. Harper, you wish to respond? I do. I walk to the front of the room, acutely aware of every eye following my movement. Lisa's face has gone pale, but she's trying to maintain her composed facade. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard some very serious accusations against me. I think it's only fair that you hear the truth before making any decisions. I turn to face Lisa directly. Lisa, you said I was your husband who you love dearly. That's interesting, because 3 months ago, you sold me to a stranger for $100 at our neighborhood barbecue. A shocked murmur runs through the crowd. Several people pull out their phones. Apparently, some of them still have the video from that night. You also mentioned seeking legal protection from me. What you didn't mention is that your restraining order petition was denied yesterday when a judge determined that you staged a break-in at your own motel room to frame me. Lisa jumps to her feet. That's not true, isn't it? I pull out a copy of the court order and hand it to Councilman Roberts. The judge's ruling is a matter of public record. He also referred your case to the district attorney for investigation of perjury and filing false reports. The room erupts in whispers. Lisa's face is now bright red, her careful composure cracking. You want to talk about alcohol abuse and mental health issues? I continue. Let's talk about the fact that you've been having an affair with Derek Rudd for the past 6 months, planning to steal my business and leave me with nothing. Tom Brennan tries to interrupt. This is a personal matter that has no bearing. Actually, it has everything to bear on this discussion. I turn to address the crowd. You see, Derek Rudd and his business partner Tom Brennan have been systematically trying to steal my clients by spreading lies about my mental state and professional competence. They convinced my wife to help them by creating public scenes designed to make me look unstable. I pull out the bank statements Mia found. They also convinced Lisa to steal money from my business accounts, over $50,000 that was supposed to go toward completing current contracts. The crowd is completely silent now, riveted by the unfolding drama. But here's the really interesting part, I continue, my voice gaining strength. Tom, you mentioned your company's 15 years of service to this community. What you didn't mention is that your company is currently under investigation for fraud, conspiracy, and tax evasion. Your business partner Derek Rudd was arrested 3 weeks ago on 23 felony charges. Tom Brennan's face goes ashen. Those charges are unrelated to our current operations. Are they? Because, according to the district attorney's office, the investigation includes a systematic scheme to inflate property values and pay kickbacks to contractors. The very kind of contractors who might be working on projects like the Maple Street development. I can see Bob Henderson in the crowd, his face grim. He's clearly hearing some of this information for the first time. So, let's recap, I say, turning back to Lisa. You're asking this community to trust the word of a woman who cheated on her husband, stole from his business, and filed false police reports, and a company whose principals are facing decades in federal prison for fraud. Lisa's composure finally cracks completely. "You bastard!" she screams, launching herself at me. "You've ruined everything!" 2 men from the audience grab her before she can reach me, but she continues struggling and screaming. "This is all your fault! Derek said you'd never fight back. He said you were too weak." The admission hangs in the air like a smoking gun. Even Tom Brennan looks horrified by Lisa's outburst. "I think we've heard enough," Councilman Roberts says, banging his gavel for order. "Mr. Harper, do you have any final comments?" I look out at the crowd of neighbors, many of whom have known me for years. Some look shocked, others sympathetic, but most just look confused by the evening's revelations. I just want to say that I've lived in this neighborhood for 8 years. I've wired half the houses on this street, helped with school fundraisers, and tried to be a good neighbor. I'm not perfect, but I've never lied to any of you. I glance at Lisa, who's now sitting in her chair crying while Tom Brennan tries to calm her down. I can't control what my ex-wife chooses to do or say about me, but I can control my own actions, and I promise you that any work I do in this community will be done with the same integrity and professionalism I've always maintained. I sit down to scattered applause. Bob Henderson stands up and addresses the crowd. "I've been working with Max Harper for 5 years," he says. "His work has always been excellent, and he's never given me any reason to question his professionalism. Based on what I've heard tonight, I'm confident that Harper Electric is the right choice for this project." The meeting breaks up shortly after, but the drama isn't over. As people file out of the community center, I'm approached by several neighbors who want to apologize for believing Lisa's lies. Mrs. Peterson, the elderly woman who lives 3 houses down, is particularly contrite. "Max, I'm so sorry. I had no idea what was really going on. That poor girl seemed so sincere." "It's okay, Mrs. Peterson. Lisa can be very convincing when she wants to be." "Well, she won't be convincing anyone around here anymore. Not after tonight." As the crowd thins out, I find myself face to face with Lisa one last time. She's stopped crying, but her makeup is ruined and her carefully constructed facade is in shambles. "I hope you're happy," she says bitterly. "You've destroyed me." "No, Lisa. You destroyed yourself. I just made sure everyone could see it. Derek was right about you. You are weak. You're pathetic and weak, and I'm also the man who just exposed your lies in front of the entire neighborhood." I interrupt. "The man who's keeping his house, his business, and his self-respect while you're facing criminal charges and have nowhere to go." She stares at me for a long moment, and I can see the exact instant when she realizes that her campaign against me has failed completely. "This isn't over," she whispers. "Yes, it is." I walk away, leaving her standing alone in the nearly empty community center. Mia is waiting for me in the parking lot, leaning against her car with a satisfied smile. "How do you feel?" she asks. "Like I can breathe again." "Good, because you just won." She's right. In the space of one evening, I've reclaimed my reputation, secured my business contracts, and exposed Lisa's lies to everyone who matters. But more than that, I've reclaimed myself. What happens now? I ask. Now you go home to your house, run your business, and live your life. Lisa's finished in this town. Tom Brennan's company will be lucky to survive the fraud investigation, and you get to start over. What about you? Mia smiles. Well, Sandra Rudd paid me to investigate her husband's affair. Mission accomplished. But I've been thinking about staying in town, maybe opening a local office. I'd like that. Would you? Even after everything that's happened? I think about the question seriously. 3 months ago, I was a man trapped in a loveless marriage, too afraid of conflict to stand up for myself. Tonight, I face down my ex-wife's lies and won decisively. The transformation has been painful, but necessary. Especially after everything that's happened, I say finally. 6 months later, I'm standing in my backyard again, but this time the gathering is very different. It's a housewarming party for Mia, who bought the house across the street. The same neighbors who witnessed Lisa's meltdown are here, but the atmosphere is completely different. Warm, genuine, supportive. Gus walks over with 2 beers. Hell of a thing, isn't it? 6 months ago, your wife was selling you for $100. Now look at you. I accept the beer and survey my backyard. The business is thriving. Bob Henderson recommended me to 3 other contractors, and my client list has doubled. The divorce was finalized last month, with Lisa getting nothing but her personal belongings. She left town shortly after the community center meeting, and I haven't heard from her since. Derek was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. Tom Brennan's company went bankrupt during the fraud investigation. Sandra Rudd got a generous settlement and has started her own successful real estate business. You know what the best part is? Gus continues. You're actually happy now. I haven't seen you smile this much since before you got married. He's right. The constant tension, the walking on eggshells, the feeling of never being good enough, all of that is gone. I'm sleeping better, working with renewed energy, and actually enjoying my life again. Mia appears at my elbow, carrying a plate of food. Penny for your thoughts. Just thinking about how much has changed. Any regrets? I consider the question seriously. The past 6 months have been the most challenging of my life, but they've also been the most liberating. Only one, I say finally. I regret that it took me so long to figure out what I was actually worth. Mia raises her beer in a toast. And what's that? I clink my bottle against hers and smile. A hell of a lot more than $100 and a burger. The laughter that follows is genuine and warm, the sound of people who actually like and respect each other. It's the kind of laughter I haven't heard in years, and it feels like coming home. As the sun sets over Millbrook Heights, I realize that sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even, it's getting better, and I've never been better in my life.